What's up, everyone? Welcome to the final Let's Play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild ZPPrograms. Alright, so it's been a long journey here, and I want to do something a little special. But before we get into what that is, you probably already noticed something a little different. I just gotta make sure. Yep, my mic is picking up, and we are recording. And everything is a-okay. All right. Yeah. So it's oops, I forgot something. It's been a little bit of a long journey to get here, but you know, it's been a really fun experience playing this game, and I just wanted to celebrate it by kind of going out with something a little different. And so today we're going to spend the first part of the stream really exploring why this game is so special and kind of the lead up to the game, what happened. So kind of some emotions and thoughts about you know, what it felt like, the hype lead up to the game, and including some other things. So we're actually going to be watching some YouTube to start this out. So I actually have my little Wii U pad here. See, now a little funny story. I actually was going to stream YouTube off my desktop computer, but it was stuttering, so it took me a while this afternoon. I finally figured it out. I figured I can play through my Wii U and it won't stutter, because I think the problem was it was trying to render to my screen on my laptop and also render to the stream. So I hope this works out better than that. It took a little trial and error, and if YouTube was on the Switch, this would all be off the Switch. But for whatever reason, YouTube has decided not to put their app on the Switch yet. I'm really hoping that they will in the future. So for now, the Wii U, this old console, is kind of ironic, kind of, and you'll see why. It's kind of ironic that we're actually using the Wii U to talk about Breath of the Wild. But, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. So I want to take us back all the way to E3 2014? Yes, E3 2014. So this is June of 2014. Now, I have my little notes here on my phone. So the previous Zelda in this franchise was Skyward Sword. And for those of you that don't know, I'm sure most of you that are watching right now know about Skyward Sword. It's very linear. It has a very, in a lot of ways, it's kind of the antithesis of Breath of the Wild. And what I mean by that is it has a really well-developed story and characters, but you know, and then it has that crazy, like, you know, motion plus, you know, Wii Motion gameplay. And you know, it's kind of hindered by the fact of the Switch, or the Wii's limitations. And it's also, but it tells a really compelling story, but it's also very straightforward. You can't really do things out of order. There's no really, I mean, it's an adventure in like the broad sense, but it's not like, it's not an open world by any stretch of the imagination. It's very closed off. And so, and I forgot when Skyward Sword came out. I'm gonna have to look it up, but you have to remember, like, on the Wii U actually, outside of Breath of the Wild, doesn't have a Zelda game. And so just kind of setting the stage. At this point in time, we've been looking forward to a Zelda game on the Wii U, because every console, I just maybe lost connection. on the Wii U. Figure. Okay, we'll figure this out. Let's try it again. So it didn't have a Zelda game, and every console up to that point had a Zelda game, but the Wii U was a financial failure. There's a lot of good games on it. I love mine. I like a lot of the games on it, but let's face it, it's very slow, as we can see by the fact that it's taking forever for this Wii U menu to show up. I should just play the video. Why is it taking forever? Okay, well, I guess I'll ramble on, but yeah, it really doesn't have a lot going. I think I'm going to restart the system. Technical difficulties, yay. I'm going to hold down the power button. Okay, that only turned off the gamepad. I'm going to have to, just a sec. Sorry. I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to refresh the system actually up front. Okay, let's hope that actually works. Okay, good. The Elgato picked back up. Awesome. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about. As far as kind of leading into this. So yeah, hope everyone's weekend's going fine. Mine is good so far, except for this minor hiccup, but it looks like we're back. I can't believe that happened. Well, you can see, that hasn't really happened on the Switch yet. Now, maybe the Wii U is just old or something. It is a little old. But it's not that old. I'm gonna get back to my recommendations. Okay, so without further ado, it's E3 2014, so June of 2014, and Nintendo gives us this.
Welcome to a house where magic.
Nope, I got an ad.
Please teach me, please.
I'm gonna skip it.
I don't want.
And I'm gonna be pausing or talking over this.
Last year, I said that revisiting the conventions of the Zelda series would be our theme for the new Zelda game for Wii U. However, before I get into that, let me talk about something that I needed to help to realize this ambition. In fact, it's something that we've wanted to do for a long time in the Legend of Zelda series, and so development began with this as our focus. In the earlier releases of the Legend of Zelda games, players got to explore a wide area, scrolling up, down, left, and right. However, after the game transitioned to 3D and the hardware continued to evolve, it became harder to create that feel of being in a vast world. For example, in Wind Waker, we used various techniques to create a wide world where you could freely explore many isolated islands. But it was very hard to create one large world where everything felt connected. We had to design small, bounded areas with a defined entrance and exit. And putting them all together made it feel like you were playing in a large world. But you still couldn't cut through the boundaries wherever you liked to explore that world.
Okay, so that's like really important. This was what he just said there, what Eiji Aonuma, who was the producer in Breath of the Wild, basically is getting at is, and what made us really excited at the time, although we didn't quite know if it was going to be 100% open world at the time, they didn't quite use the phrasing open world. That's kind of a Western phrasing. But yeah, it was like, okay, the original Legend of Zelda just kind of plopped you in a world and let you go everywhere. anywhere you want. It's extremely cryptic and it's kind of hard to play. But people loved it. It's a classic. And then they made the transition to 3D. And you could almost argue that kind of Link to the Past perfected the 2D Zelda. But then they moved to Ocarina of Time and 3D. But the problem with 3D is it's kind of hard to develop a game where there's one more dimension of freedom, of movement. And it seems to me that they continued to they kind of went down this path of making things, in some ways, simpler. Now Wind Waker kind of stands out in that it feels very open. It's on this big, wide ocean. But you're really, as he was saying, it was explained there, from a development standpoint, they defined entrances and exits. So it felt connected, but it wasn't truly open world. And, of course, Skyward Sword really made it so it was an open world. So I think that was very important to understand at the time, that we've never really had an open world Zelda before. So now he's going to go on and talk about Breath of the Wild, what eventually gets named Breath of the Wild. Remember, at this time, we know nothing. We know nothing about Breath of the Wild. So let's continue.
Hey, I'd like to talk to everyone about the latest Zelda game for Wii U. But first, please take a look at how the game looks on screen.
Magic.
This is the new world of
The
Zelda.
man is a wizard.
It's quite a vast world, isn't it? You can even reach those mountains in the distance if you walk far enough. We couldn't create such a wide world like this in the past. As far as what you can do with such a vast field to explore, as soon as those boundaries are removed, it means you can enter any area from any direction. So the puzzle solving in this game begins the moment the player starts to think about where they want to go, how they will get there, and what they will do when they arrive. This is a clean break from the conventions of past games in the Zelda series, where you had to follow a set path and play through the scenario in the right order. I believe this departure will create opportunities for new gameplay that have not been experienced in previous Zelda games. As you can see, and as you know from the Zelda series, the world in these games can be quite peaceful. However, it is a Zelda game after all, so strong enemies will certainly appear, even in this setting. Powerful enemies appearing in such a peaceful world is one of the defining features of the Zelda series.
I think that one convention we can keep, right?
Hey. All right. I'm just going to let this play out. Okay. So, crazy hype. One, it's an open world game. First of Zelda since probably the first Zelda. Well, since 2D Zelda, really. Two, it's like a Western style. Three, like Skyrim. That's what I mean by Western. Three, it looks gorgeous. Okay. And 4, it's coming in 2015? Hopefully? Question mark? Okay. So, and remember, we know nothing about the Switch at this time. We don't even know about the NX. We'll get to that in a bit. But, yeah. Now, Zelda games do have a tendency to get delayed. But at the time we were like, I remember I was like, we could get it in 2015. This is a reality. Reality right now is 2015. This is an actual Zelda game. I'm gonna be playing on my Wii U. at the and it's like the Wii U is, well, not really saved, but you know, people did buy the Wii U for Zelda. Like that happened. People went out and like I was watching like some of IGN's coverage, and I know somebody was upset because when the Switch was announced and all that, because they bought a Wii U just for Zelda, just because of that trailer and some gameplay footage. So yeah, and I remember there was a huge controversy at the time. Also, like Link's not in a green tunic. Like, what's that about? And there was like some people were confused. He was very androgynous, which we know why he was designed androgynous for the game's sake. For you know like Gerudo, Village and all that, but some people were even confused and thought he was a woman. There was a rumor that came out at the time that you could play as a female version of Link, which I actually personally still think that I would want to be able to do in the future. Although with Gerudo Town and all that, you understand why they didn't do that. Not Zelda. I don't want to play as Zelda. Like I don't want to be playing Legend of Link and playing as Zelda. I want to play as Legend of Zelda game as a female Link. Like I think that'd be kind of cool. You know, there's no rules, no in canon rules that say you can't do that. I mean, obviously, you know, there's some people who like to ship certain characters and make up, you know, love stories and things like that. But there's no in canon lore reason. The hero chosen by the goddess can't be a woman. But yeah, so at the time it was like there was this big controversy, there was like lots of talking, but it got people talking and it was very exciting when it happened. And then let me look at my notes, make sure I got this right. So then December of that year, 2014, so we went from June to December with no new information. And then the Game Awards. So for those of you that may not know, the Game Awards is like the Oscars for video games, or like the Grammys for video games. It's a very American event, or a very Western event. It usually doesn't favor Japanese developers, and it usually is they reward a lot of Western video games there. But in December of that year, which of 2014, we got some Game Awards footage. So Nintendo came out and they got from Game Awards footage. So we're gonna watch this footage here from the Game Awards in December of 2014. So remember.
Okay, so today, why don't we show a glimpse of how the new Zelda game...
So first off, they're playing on the Wii U. Second off, we know nothing about the NX or the Switch. Third, why is the video on a screen separate of them? Why don't you give us the full screen? But it's just so it's Miyamoto on the left here, on our left, and Eiji Anuma-san on the right here with the gamepad, producer of the game. I don't know if you can hear that fire truck, but it's a fire truck going off where I live. All right, let's continue.
Game is shaping up.
Sure.
Oh, and it looks like it's sunset already. So we must be looking to the west.
Right. I wanted everyone to see how beautiful this scene is with the setting sun.
Oh wow, he's climbed way up high.
Yes. Since this is such a huge world, we're making a number of high places that offer great views.
So now you could decide where to go to.
Okay, I have to interject. Where are they? Okay. That, where they are right now in the game, is not Breath of the Wild. Like, whatever the game they're playing, it's a Zelda game, but it's not Breath of the Wild. And also, it's very important to point out that we haven't had a subtitle for the game. At this point, it's called Wii U Legend of Zelda, or Legend of Zelda for Wii U. Like there's Breath of the Wild is not even a thought. Like, it's not even a name. So, and there's a magic meter, and that's not, I don't recognize that in the game. Like, somebody please tell me if they know where that is in Breath of the Wild, but it's not Breath of the Wild. Like, whatever game they're playing is not Breath of the Wild. I just wanted to point that out. I have some theories on why that is, but we might get to that a little bit later.
You can see so far.
This is a good place to look around from. And if you see, say, a suspicious-looking tower in the distance, you might decide to head there.
That's not the same kind of tower that's in Breath of the
And you saw that
Wild.
flash there.
Whoa! You said a new type of beacon.
Okay, but beacons are in there.
Now the corresponding place is also marked on the map.
That's not the same
He's
map.
here now. This is the distance he needs to traverse.
You can also zoom in from here, right?
You can.
That's not the UI in Breath of the Wild.
And you can also zoom out and further out.
That's a huge world.
We haven't even seen the whole world yet.
This must be the edge of the map. How far are we from here to the edge of the map?
Yeah, it would take a very long time for Link to walk. But anyway, why don't we try to go to the point that we marked on the map? Let's go.
Whoa, a few. Good to know he had the sailcloth.
Sailcloth?
Played an important
That's not in
role
Breath of the
with Skyward
Wild.
Sword. Now, it'll be a bit hard to reach our destination on foot. But luckily,
That shield is.
here we have a horse.
Oh, Epona. Long time no see.
Pona's in the game.
This is a densely wooded area.
That looks somewhat familiar.
Yet I'm hardly touching the control stick.
You're not touching it.
Yeah, and I won't hit any trees. Real horses don't run into trees very often.
Well, that seems natural.
We're working on details like that.
And now that your hands are free, you can do a variety of things on the horse.
Yes, you can freely change the camera angle, for example. And you can swing a sword like normal.
I mean, that.
And
Yeah.
shoot arrows.
You can take time to aim now.
Why don't we go to a place where we can aim at enemies with these arrows?
Those UI HUD elements are not
There's
Breath of the
insect
Wild.
and animal life as well. I saw apples growing here the last time.
Yeah, you can pick and eat them.
This looks a bit suspicious. We must be near a dungeon.
In places like this,
I knew
you
it.
tend to run into these guys.
Oh, another one there. All right. Oh, I heard a metallic sound.
It's not the
That
same
sound
sound as
tells
the
you
Breath
that
of the
your
Wild.
arrow has hit the right spot and damaged your hand.
But the critical hit is in Breath of the
And
Wild.
then in situations like this,
And the vault is
You can
too.
bolt off the horse.
and while jumping, you can shoot arrows.
Yeah.
I see. And you're in slow motion while jumping off the horse.
Yes,
Wow, easier to aim. So how far away is our destination from here?
yeah, well, it'll still take about 4 or 5 more minutes, I suppose.
4 or 5 minutes more. Are you sure that this will be released next year?
Yes, all of the staff members are working together and doing their best.
Miyamoto to Anuma-san. Are you sure this will be released this year? Or next year? And to be honest, I think... Okay, so this is probably a pretty important point. I honestly think they were 100% serious. I think they wanted to release the game next year. Now, we know for a fact that they did run into some development issues. But... And that's why it got delayed. But I honestly, at some point in this game's history, they changed a lot of stuff. They got rid of a magic meter. They changed UI. They changed a lot. A lot of stuff changed. And I think it might have to do with the climbing mechanic. I don't think that you could climb any surface in the original game, whatever that game would have ended up being. And I don't know if there was fast travel either. Like, I don't know if you could warp to like a tower, because we saw a tower, but it didn't look like technological. It looked like structural, like wood. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what caused them, but that's my best guess of why they had delayed it, was because they reworked the shape of the world to support this like cool climbing mechanic that they wanted to do. And then I think they introduced the Sheikah Slate at the same time, because at this point there's no Sheikah Slate. I mean, there might be shrines, I have no idea. But yeah, it's just kind of fascinating me just watching this. But I remember when I originally saw this, and we were through the moon. Like, it was like, more footage, awesome. And like that map thing, I just remember thinking about, like, that map's huge. Like, there's so much stuff to do. The map is gigantic. Like, it was great seeing that map and really emphasizing how big the world was. So that that never really changed. But yeah, whatever game they're playing, it's not Breath of the Wild. So yeah, let's continue.
By the way, Mr. Miyamoto, how about your Star Fox title?
What? Star Fox? You're asking me that now? No worries about Star Fox.
Oh, that's good news.
Star Fox will arrive before The Legend of Zelda next year. The way it uses the gamepad is really starting to feel good.
Oh, but before that comes out, we'll release Majora's Mask.
And
Right you are. We've made a number of adjustments to Majora's Mask, and it now feels pretty good on 3DS.
Yeah, we made it easier to play without altering the feel of the original game.
And we've worked on some places where we felt improvements were necessary.
That's right, after 10 years no less.
It's taken 10 years, but the 3-day system is intact. And it's so accessible, you could even play while chatting like this. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for watching.
no, don't go. I want to know more. All right. Let's see what we got here.
Open your eyes.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So, 2015 rolls around. Okay, no news of Zelda. But what we did get in March 17th, 2015 is the Project NX. So there's this, what happened was they had an investors meeting with DNA, which DNA is Nintendo's mobile partner. So it's another company, they're not owned by Nintendo, but they are developing mobile games for Nintendo on cell phones. And so what happened was they announced that partnership at this investors meeting. But Iwata-san, may he rest in peace, great man. He unfortunately passed away, was it 2016? I think he passed away in 2016. Hugely influential, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Yeah. In this investor meeting, they didn't want to seem like Nintendo was giving up on the home console business, because there was some rumors, some people speculation. There was a lot of buzz in the air that Nintendo should just give up on the home console business and be a third party because of the failure of the Wii U. And Nintendo wanted to announce that they were developing mobile games, but they didn't want that announcement to come off as saying we're giving up on the home console business. So they had to say something. They were in a rough spot. It was between a rock and a hard place. Don't say anything, then the rumors continue and they look bad. Say something, announce. But if you do announce something, you announce it way, way earlier than you normally would announce it. So they decided to announce that they're working on a not a home console. They didn't say that. What they said was something along the lines of, we're announcing our next hardware unit, which could be anything. It could be a washing machine for all we knew. It's kind of the joke that I made up, or that was going around at the time. But they were developing some sort of hardware. And it was called the NX. And that was its code name. So that's kind of important to the story. And there was tons of speculation at the time about what the heck the NX was. Because at the same investors meeting, they announced that Nintendo had two hardware teams. They had a mobile hardware team, like for the 3DS and for their handheld systems, a handheld hardware team, not mobile phones, but handheld devices, and they had a home console hardware team. They announced at this investors meeting that they actually merged their two teams together. They're now one team. And so that was very interesting. And so that started hybrid console speculations, which turned out to be true. Started surfacing at that time is because of that. Very interesting. So 2015 comes, NX gets announced in March, and it goes, and no Zelda. And at some point, we were told Zelda was being delayed. So, then E3 2016 comes around. Okay, so E3 takes place in June. Now, I thought I keyed up a video that's not this one. Nope. Maybe it's in here somewhere. Oh, it's here. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit of this first before we go on, just to give you an idea of what it felt like at this time. So what happened was E3 was coming up, and Nintendo announced, when was this? And then, oh yeah, it doesn't matter when this was. So Nintendo announced that the only game, literally, they're like, the only game that's going to be at E3 2016 is Zelda. And that was huge in a negative sense. It was devastating because the Wii U was failing. We already knew it was already a failure. And really no new games, just Zelda. It was kind of heartbreaking. So I'm going to skip ahead in this video. This video is really cool. It's all about the NX and all the rumors, and actually it helped me research this a little bit. This is Game Explains video on the NX. I highly recommend it, but we're not gonna watch the whole thing. We're just gonna get to this clip. 10:48 in the video. Okay, so right here.
That even better? Andre and Ash of 2016, who recorded the discussion immediately after. Here's what we said then. Oh, dude, man, dude, that's been rough, dude.
Dude, man, dude.
Man, dude.
Yeah, you know, it's I mean, they're not doomed, but this is really depressing. Like I mean, I'm not gonna go out and say this is the worst thing in the world and what are they thinking and they're run by idiots, but this is like legitimately disappointing and kind of concerning to me.
Kimishima would later explain that the reason the NX wouldn't be released in 2016 was in order to ensure that there would be a steady stream of games after the launch period.
Okay, so that's all I wanted to play there. So that just gives you an idea of the kind of the feeling in the room, and that's the same feeling I had at this time. Because, you know, I would listen to Game Explains. I still listen to Game Explains discussions. They do a really good hour, sometimes multi-hour long discussions on things. They're Game Explain. And so it says everything's in their name. Yeah, so it was just really, really kind of depressing. It was like, there's no third-party support for the Wii U. There's, you know, Zelda's been delayed. We don't even know when it's coming out. And it's the only game at E3. And I was a little excited, though. I was like, okay, at least we're going to get footage. Oh boy, did we get footage. Here's what actually happened. So, here's what actually happened. This happened.
Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Wake up, Link.
and after Majora's Mask.
Okay. They proved us all wrong. They knocked it out of the park. That trailer is one of the best trailers, not just Zelda trailers, even movie trailers. That's one of the best trailers I've ever seen. At least that is what it felt like at the time. Like, insane. And they spent hours, and I'm talking hours and hours and hours of gameplay footage at E3 that year. Like, the Treehouse had a live stream for like, what, 3 or 4 days? And for like 5 hours or something, they played Breath of the Wild, and all they were playing was, I believe it was just the Great Plateau. And that is Breath of the Wild. What we saw before, that wasn't Breath of the Wild. This was Breath of the Wild. And we got a name. This is the first time we ever got Breath of the Wild. Like, before this point in time, June of 2016. I gotta make sure that was the right year. Yeah, E3 2016. The first time we got the name Breath of the Wild. And yet, it's kind of stung a little bit because they didn't give us a date. No date. So the first trailer, way back in June of 2014, they gave us the year 2015. And, that's not an exact date. It may not, who knows when it's actually coming out, but at least they were aiming for 2015. They give us that trailer, which is one of the best trailers I've ever seen, and yet they didn't even give us a year. No mention of a year. When is it coming out? We didn't know. So that kind of stung a little bit, but it almost didn't matter because the amount of footage and amount of stuff that we got from this was crazy. And it's so crazy, and I don't know if you can't see it on screen. This was why having a good streaming from my desktop would have been better. But Game Explain, after all of this, when was this?
Yeah, that's not...
September 4th. So months later, so June. So like 3 months later, Game Explain came out with a 2-hour, I'm not even kidding, 2-hour long analysis. You can check it out yourself. Let's see. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, 2 hours long. This thing is a beast, and I watched the whole thing. I'm not even kidding. It was a movie. It was a movie, and it analyzed everything. The entire E3 presentation. It figured out the size of the map. There's tons of sections in this thing. I'm not going to play it. Obviously, we're not going to sit here and watch this for 2 hours. Don't worry. But yeah. Insane. What other video game gets a 2-hour analysis, breakdown analysis? Like something, usually trailer analysis are what, 10, 15 minutes. But they broke down more than just the trailer, the live stream, everything. It was overwhelming of how much content we actually get, and it was just that trailer and the Great Plateau. That was it. That's all they really showed us. And Game Explain did like a 2-hour analysis on just that content alone.
Possible.
Okay. So, great. Zelda is not dead. It's coming out eventually. Kind of stings that we don't know when it is, but man, did they prove us wrong from that downtrodden sentiment that us people paying attention to the stuff cared about. And then it happened. So, and I don't mean Zelda. Going back to the NX. So prior to this point, and if you want to know more, you can watch that Game Explain video that I took out that clip from. There's been tons and tons of rumors. So remember, at the same time, since back in March of 2015 up to this point, there have been rumor after rumor after rumor after rumor about what is the NX, what is the NX, what is the NX. And there's a lot of even rumors to say is Zelda going to the NX? I remember at the time that this trailer for Breath of the Wild came out at E3 2016, they were still saying it was for Wii U, and they weren't talking about the NX. But everybody kind of, including myself, just kind of assumed if the NX was anything like a home console at all, we assumed it was going to the NX as well. We didn't know when it was coming to the NX, and some people even thought that it's not gonna come out on the Wii U, which turned out to be wrong. By the way, it did come out for the Wii U. So if this is another kind of a point I want to make, like if this is what Nintendo can do on a Zelda on the Wii U hardware, because remember this thing has to run on the Wii U hardware. Imagine what the next Zelda is going to be like when it's like not hindered by the Wii U's hardware. Like I just can't imagine. It's going to be amazing. So looking forward to that. But getting back to the kind of the narrative here, we got a tweet on October 19th in 2016 that we were going to get the first look at what the NX was. You know, so that broke the internet that day for anybody who was into gaming. So October 20th, and I think it was in the morning. I think it was like 7 a.m. or something like that. And it was like early. I remember getting up for this. I got up early. I was so nervous. Because I knew it was I was refreshing YouTube like crazy. Like it's just refresh. Because I wanted to know what this NX thing is. And so this is important to side of Nintendo history, but it's tied into Zelda. It ties into Zelda in a kind of an interesting way. And so we're going to take a look at what this was. What is the NX? First look. Okay. Breath of the Wild.
Nintendo Switch.
Okay. Let's talk about this. Whoever did this marketing, whoever's doing the marketing for Nintendo at this point, deserves a promotion. Because that was magic. So, we can talk about all the other stuff in this, but they opened with Zelda. And I think that's really important. Because what they're sending a message, that what they're saying is, look, you can play this on your big screen TV, or you can go out and walk your dog with this thing. I mean, crazy. It's this thing, this Wii U gamepad. This is like a proto Switch, and this clunky, stupid piece of garbage. Okay, it's not quite garbage, but you get what I'm trying to emphasize here. Has now been turned into and changed, such that is now like somewhat revolutionary. I mean, it's not like some weird, like, it's not like the invention of the internet or anything like that, but like it really turned a 180 in your head about like thinking about it. And not only that, but we got to find out that this thing is coming out in March. This is October of 2016. March of 2017. That's crazy town. Like, insane. Like, we knew nothing. We knew a lot of rumors. There's tons of rumors. And Zelda's going to be on it. Like, I mean, this is crazy. Like, is it still going to the Wii U? We don't know. Like, we don't know if it's still going to the Wii U, but we know it's going to be on this Switch. We now have a name for it. It's no longer the NX. It's now the Switch. And I think it just did a really good did a really good job of emphasizing why the Switch is not the Wii U, and it got a lot of people on board. This trailer got 37 million views. That's more people than own a Switch right now. Like, I think the Switch is like at 20 some odd million, which is it became the fastest selling console in I think it was North American history. I forgot the exact statistic, but it was like sold really quick. Yeah, it got turned a lot of heads, and it was an exciting day. And you can't get that catchy song out of your head, ha 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 ha, yeah, you know. And there's a lot more to this than just Zelda, but I want to really focus on why it was important for Zelda, and that was, it's not tied to this clunky old piece of hardware. It's not, like I said, it's not even that old. It just feels old. It's tied to this new brand exciting thing, and this new brand new exciting thing is coming out in March. Now, we don't know if that means Zelda's coming out in March. Let's be clear. But, so we had what? This is October 20th. So, you know, we had November, December, January, February, and March. We had 5 months. Less than 5 months. But relatively 5 months. Wow. So then just kind of set this next one up. What then happened was later on, Nintendo announced that they were going to do a Switch presentation. This thing wasn't actually that good. It was good, but it wasn't mind-blowing. It wasn't like this first look that we just watched was better in terms of marketing. But we got a lot of details. Like, there was a big blowout on what the Switch was, exactly what you could do with it, all these things. There's tons of information given out this thing. But in January 12th, so on January 12th, they did this like long, like I think it was like an hour and a half, maybe an hour 15 or something like that, long presentation in Japan. And they ended the presentation, and at this point in the presentation, we didn't know anything. There's no Zelda. There's no Zelda throughout this entire presentation. But they told us up front. So I want to point this out. We told us up front that the Nintendo Switch in this presentation would be releasing March 3rd, 2017. So that's important. Remember that. March 3rd, 2017 is when the Switch launch day was happening. And they didn't talk about Zelda through the entire thing. And then this happened.
The history of the royal family of Hyrule is also the history of the calamity Ganon, a primal evil that has endured over the ages.
Tells me that you have no recollection of me, however.
I think you are now ready to hear what happened 100 years ago.
Everything I've done up until now, it was all for nothing.
Here it comes! You must save her, my daughter.
Open your eyes.
I don't know how they did it. Like, okay. I don't know which trailer's better. The first one at E3 2016 or the one in January of 2017. But for the Switch, like big blowout. This one was a little more story based, but like I don't know, fantastic, right? It's like that's Cloud9, hype through the roof, and you know the Switch is coming out in 3 months, in less than 3 months. When was this? January 12th. So yeah, about 3 months. Or 2 months. Let's see. Yeah, because January 12th to February 12th, and then February 12th to March 3rd is 2 months. Mind blown. 2 months away. That's big hype news already. Surely Zelda is not going to be a launch title. No, open your eyes. Open your eyes. It is coming out March 3rd, and it is a launch title for the Switch. That's huge. One of the best launch titles in gaming history. Like Mario 64 and like Breath of the Wild. Like, I don't know. There might be a few others out there, but yeah. And remember, like I said, the previous trailer before this didn't even get us a year. They didn't give us a year. They didn't give us a month. But when Nintendo just their track record, I don't know if they've ever broken this rule. When they give you a month, day, and year, that game is coming out on that day. Like, I don't think there's been a time in their history when they've given you a month, a day, and a year, and it's not come out on that day. They're very persnickety about that. There's been plenty of examples where they give you a year or like holiday 2017. You know, what does that mean? Like Christmas time 2017, right? And then they slip it and they don't make that date. They might even give you a month and a year, and then maybe push it back to the end of that month or to the following month or maybe a couple months after. But I don't know if there's a single time in their history where they ever gave you a month, a day, and a year, and they didn't hit that date. So this was fantastic, because it was kind of like full confirmation. Like we knew for sure when it was coming out. And this at this time, I think they also had announced that it was still coming to the Wii U, which it did. It eventually did. It came out. In fact, it came out on the Wii U on March 3rd as well. My suspicion is that they had the game pretty much done probably back in June of 2016. I'm not sure if they had it completely done back in E3 of 2016. They're probably aiming for holiday of 2016. Would be my guess. So the game's probably not done, but it's very close. But I think they didn't want to release it on the Wii U holiday 2016 and then March on the Switch. So I think this last little delay from like holiday 2016, which is just speculation. Like I really honestly don't know if it would have made that date. But my speculation is that it slipped from holiday 2016 to March 2017, just so it could release on the same day as the Switch launch. And I think that was this very smart move on their part. And as they said, like the rest is history, right? But I still got to talk about a little bit of things here before we actually switch over to some things. I just want to talk about there was one other video I wanted to show. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But just kind of the fallout. So 1 month and later, a week away, so a week prior to its launch, oops, let's see, there we go. The guys over at Normal Boots released a tribute video. I don't want to. Oop, got an ad. I'm gonna have to skip it. Or no, I can't.
Trusted brand.
What to get? So this is. I'm gonna kind of skip into it a little bit. This is like a tribute music video. yeah, so I don't want to play the whole thing. I won't want to take our time away from this just for that. If you want to watch it, go to Peanut Butter Gamer's YouTube channel. Look for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild tribute song. It's 4 minutes long, well, almost 5 actually. But you know, things like this don't happen for regular games. I just wanted to kind of point some of this out. Like, this is a week prior to its launch. Like, the game hasn't even launched yet, and people are already making tribute videos. And I know that's probably common practice for a lot of things, but it felt special, you know, like that people cared. Like, Nintendo doesn't make bad Zelda games. Like, they make Zelda games that people maybe don't agree with, like Skyward Sword maybe, but they generally don't make, they make solid games. The games are always solid from like a programming standpoint, from like a architectural, like very bug free, and so everyone kind of guessed, you know, barring some major mishap, that this game was going to be amazing. Like, everybody was already thinking it was going to be amazing. So the story doesn't really end here. I mean, there's things like, we've got movie reviewers who reviewed the game. So Chris Stuckman does review games every so often, and you know, he has this little intro.
The Legend of Zelda Breath.
So, you know, like, but like, he doesn't review games that often. Like, he reviews games, but I think this is honestly the last game he reviewed. He did this back in March 9th, so just a few days after Breath of the Wild released. And so, yeah, I mean, how often can you say like movie reviewers are covering it? Like, so if you know, it became a big deal. The Completionist, Gerard the Completionist took.
Thank you for watching, and welcome back to a brand new episode.
I mean, sorry, I'm gonna go into a little bit. This
footage about a brand new Zelda game. But even before the Wii U was commercially available, there was a tech demo that...
Yeah, there was that tech demo. This thing is 44 minutes long. Like I said, I'm not going to go into it. But, like, like, just to give you some context, completionist videos are like 20 minutes long. They're like 25 at most. This man is insane enough to the point where he decided to complete the game. And this is before any of the DLC, by the way. So he didn't do everything like he didn't do a lot of stuff we did. But like, he just let the opening of the game play out.
Holy crap, this all looks so huge! Moments after getting his bearings, Link meets with a character simply...
I actually haven't watched this video. I'm planning on watching it at some point, because I held off. It was published on, well, you can see there, April 28th. So, you know, it's just a little abnormal. I mean, I guess it's a really big game, but you know, there's a lot of, like, we're 5 minutes into the video and he's just now starting like the first part of the game. So like, you can tell there's like a lot of love and care, like a lot of like details, like, well, we're doing now. I mean, we're really exploring Breath of the Wild. Then later, after his completionist video came out, I think it was actually really close to when his completionist video came out. I remember thinking it was kind of funny. They did a Nintendo released DLC trailer. We're not going to watch this trailer completely. I guess it's only 2 minutes 37 seconds, but December 7th. Okay, so it was a little later. So yeah, this yeah, so this is the Champion's Ballad DLC trailer. So I think they announced DLC for Breath of the Wild pretty soon after Gerard did his completionist video for the first pack. Or was it before? No, it was before the game launched. Before the game came out, they announced that there will be DLC. They announced the 3 bonus chests on the plateau for anybody who wanted it right away. That was day 1. And then they said there was 2 big major packs, but they didn't detail what the major packs would be. And then Gerard did his completionist video, completed the game prior to any of the DLC. And then there was and then they came out with they announced the details of the first pack, which I don't have the video of. I think there might have been a video of. And then December of 2017, so this is all within 2017, by the way, we got this announcement for the Champions Ballad, which of course we've played through. So that's great. So, you know, and then there's things.
A YouTuber's never late for the wagons. Nor is he early. Gonna say this straight up front. Yes, this game came out over a year ago, so there's nothing that I can really add that hasn't been said already. But if you want to know my opinion on Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, here you go. And if you want to help me out, because YouTube's just boning a lot of people right now, if you're
okay, let's not play through the rest of this. But so like we already talked about Chris Stuckman, but Jeremy Johns, this is another very famous YouTuber. He did this is kind of during the time where YouTube was having its quote-unquote adpocalypse. He did a review of Breath of the Wild, but this is a year. This is April of this year, April 2nd of this year. How often does that happen? Like, I don't know. Like, he's not doing this review for the clicks. Well, he is, ultimately. Or for the ad revenue. Ultimately, he's doing it for that. But this game has such a popularity. You got 198,000 views on this video. That you could do a video a year later, a review for a game that's been out for over a year, and just talk about it. Like, and he's a movie reviewer. I mean, maybe he talks about games sometimes, just like Chris Stuckman does. But it's like you know, I think it just goes to prove like the fallout, the aftermath of what happened. I don't know if I'm going to play this next one, but just to, yeah, the Switch sold 20 million units within its first year. I think Zelda was a big part of that. It's not the only part about that, you know. There's a lot, just Mario Odyssey, a lot of other games, third parties that came on board, a lot of indies and things like that that really helped the Wii or the Switch to succeed. Plus the cool factor of being able to take it on the go anywhere. You know, we saw the advertisement earlier on. There's a lot to it, but I think Breath of the Wild is part of that component. People bought Switches. Some people bought Switches just for Breath of the Wild. And so, you know, it sold 20 million. And the pièce de résistance, as I would like to say, the Game Awards. So remember back in 2014, in December of 2014, we got the Game Awards. And at that time, Zelda, not Breath of the Wild, whatever that was, was being shown off on the TV. Remember Miyamoto and Aonuma sitting together looking at a TV screen. That was from the Game Awards back in 2014. Come full circle later in 2017, this is what happens. And I'm going to have to skip to a particular part in this video. It might already be there. No. Okay, so this video is 3 hours long. It's over 3 hours long, so it's going to be... Can I drag this? Okay, good. We're going to skip over all the way to the end, to the 3 hour mark. Maybe. Sorry. I was kind of hoping it would auto remember where I left off, but I guess it didn't. It was a while since it was like a week ago when I set all this up, when I did all this research and got all this ready to go and together. Nope, that's not what I want to do. almost there. Staying on target. Takes a little while to scroll through a 3-hour video. Okay, so we're 3 hours. What did I write down? 3 hours, 2 minutes. Battlefront 2. Boo. This is pretty close. I think there's some, just to give you some context, this is the first time the Game Awards ever had live music at the Game Awards. And like I said, it's basically the Oscars for video games. But to emphasize this point again, it's very important to understand this. It's a very Western show. Just like the Oscars generally reward American films. They have one category for best foreign picture. They don't tend to nominate and reward foreign films. The Game Awards is kind of like that. They do recognize Japanese games and Eastern games, and even European games. But the way I would say it is, Europe developed games and American developed games are what we would generally consider Western. And anything that comes out of Japan, pretty much only Japan, because I don't know, there might be some like studios in like Korea or something, but mainly Japan is what we would classify as Eastern games. And there's some differences there. I'm not saying that it's just kind of in their philosophies and their thinking about things and their storytelling, they tend to do things slightly different. And so the Game Awards is very Western focused. It's a little more inclusive. It's a lot more inclusive, I would say, than the Oscars. But you know, it's a pretty big deal. It's voted on by the players and some special panelists, and there's multiple awards. But like I said, this thing's 3 hours long, so we're not gonna play it all. But let's just watch from here to pretty much the end.
It has been an incredible year in gaming, so many outstanding titles. It has been a highly competitive race for Game of the Year. Fans cast over 8 million votes since the nominations were announced.
That's not an understatement.
Here to perform
2017 is one of the best years in
with
gaming.
all the nominees, please welcome the Game Awards Orchestra.
2017 is one of the best years in gaming for a while. Since a while. So this is Horizon Zero Dawn, which was, each one of these games is each one of these days is nominated for Game of the Year. Boo. Sorry. Player name. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds does not deserve to be nominated. That's my personal opinion. I've never played the game, but yeah, we can talk about it some other time. Oop. Did I just screw this up? Oh, I just pushed pause. That's all I did. Oh, I skipped ahead a little bit. That's okay. We'll leave it there. This is awesome.
Here we go, off the rails. But you know it's time to raise our sails. It's freedom like you never knew. Do you need bags or a pass? Say the word, I'll be there in a flash. You could say my hat is off to you. Oh, we can zoom all the way to the moon from this great wide wacky world. Jump with me, grind coins with me, oh yeah. It's time to jump up in the air. Jump up, don't be scared. Jump up and your cares will soar away. And if the dark clouds start to swirl, don't feel a jet of tear, 'cause I'll be your one-up girl. So let's all jump up super high, high up in the sky. There's no power up like dancing. You know that you're my superstar. No one else can take me this far. I'm flipping the switch. Get ready for this song. Let's do the Odyssey. Odyssey, yes, see. Odyssey, yes, see. Odyssey, yes, see. Odyssey, yes, see.
Yeah. So 2, not 1, 2 Nintendo games are nominated. And Aaron.
All right. Well,
Yeah. 2. I don't think that's ever happened. And not just any 2. Probably some of the best, like, honestly speaking, like, this is not about Odyssey. Like, I don't really want to take away from Zelda's awesomeness here. But Odyssey is honestly one of the best games I've ever played. And that's, I'm not trying to, like, hype it up. It's one of the best Mario games I've ever played, for sure. And Breath of the Wild, by extension, we'll get into what I feel about Breath of the Wild at the end of all this of the stream. You can already kind of tell I kind of like the game. So I don't know. But yeah, and it was no. So there's 3, actually 4. Well, I don't know. Is Horizon Zero Dawn considered an Eastern game? I don't think it is. It's a Sony exclusive. I think it was Sony exclusive, but I think it was kind of Western. Now, to be fair, Breath of the Wild is kind of more of a Western approach than Zelda. It's the most Western Zelda ever made. But yeah, it was a great year for gaming. And there's much more that came out in 2017 that is amazing. And Battlegrounds is really the only PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is the only standout one that I'm like, I don't think it belongs there. Long story short, it's a very buggy game, but it was the most popular game that year, as far as number of players are concerned. It blew up huge, and now today it's not dead. There's a lot of people who still play it, probably millions of people a day, but no one really talks about PlayerUnknown's Battleground anymore. And it still only has 2 maps. It's very buggy. Yeah, get it out of there. It really, at the time, it felt like, well, maybe it deserves to be there. Anyhow, I'm going on a tangent. I don't want to talk about PlayerUnknowns. I want to talk about Zelda. Anyhow, so we got our games.
Well, let's hear it again for Ed Tribeck and our Game Awards Orchestra all night tonight. Wasn't that great? Should we do that again next year? Bring them back? All right. Well, it has been an amazing celebration of truly great games this year, but there can only be one Game of the Year. So one last time, I'd like to recap the 5 nominees. Horizon Zero Dawn from Guerrilla Games. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild from Nintendo. Persona 5 from Atlas. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds from PUBG Corp. And Super Mario Odyssey, also from Nintendo. And now I'm happy to announce the winner for Game of the Year is selected by 51 global media and influencer outlets and the fans. And this year, the Game of the Year goes to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
This is Nintendo's first Game of the Year win at the Game Awards. Tonight, Breath of the Wild also won for Best Action Adventure Game and Best Game Direction.
So it won 3 awards, including Best Game. So, interesting.
Thank you, America.
Okay, so that's Eiji Aonuma there with the microphone and the award, and he's the producer of Breath of the Wild. But I just want to point the other guy to his to his right, to our left, the other Japanese man there. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. I'm going to try. His name is Hidemaru Fujibayashi. Hidemaru Fujibayashi. And he's the director. He's actually the game director. And I'm sure Aonuma-san actually did a lot for the game and its direction, but I think it's important to recognize Fujibayashi's accomplishment as well. He doesn't get as much of the spotlight as Aonuma, but I think he's probably, being the game's lead director, I would imagine he has a lot of input. So yeah, let's hear their acceptance speech here.
このゲームを作ったすべてのスタッフを代表して、この素晴らしい栄誉に感謝します。
On behalf of everyone who works on this game, thank you so very much for this award.
そしてノミネートされた他のすべてのゲームの皆さんもおめでとうございます。
And congratulations as well to all of the other nominated games.
いろいろ考えてきたんですけど、もうダメだ。忘れた。本当にゲーム作ってきてよかったです。
I'm really happy that I ended up making games.
今までこのゲームってすごく挑戦と冒険をしてきた末にできたゲームです。でも今、この挑戦と冒険っていうのは僕たちスタッフ全員を成長させてくれたなと思っています。
There was a lot of challenges. It was a big adventure making this game, but I think all of those challenges and that adventure really helped develop the staff, and it came out in the game that you saw.
チームのスタッフ代表して本当に改めてお礼を言いたいと思います。ありがとうございます。
On behalf of all the staff who worked on the game, let me once again say thank you so much.
この賞をいただいた喜びを胸に、私たちはこれからも皆さんの期待に応えられるような素晴らしい驚きに満ちたゼルダを作っていこうと思いますので、ご期待ください。
I want to take all of the joy and warmth I'm feeling right now receiving this award and put that back into continuing to make Zelda games and continue to try and surprise all of you. So please look forward to that.
All right, and Reggie's in the audience there, and I think Miyamoto's the third person. I can't tell. Anyhow, so that's gonna do it for the first portion here of this live stream. But I just wanted to really spend some time just going through the journey from start to finish of what it was like from a kind of media perspective, a hype perspective. But it was really cool to see this game get the accolades it did. Just pointing out like why it was important to me and others, and really just showing like it was Nintendo's first Game of the Year award ever. Like, I don't know if they won other awards in the past, but this is the first Game of the Year award. It won 3 awards this year, or last year, 2017. And yeah. And it's actually kind of too bad it had Mario Odyssey had to go up against Breath of the Wild, because I imagine if Breath of the Wild wasn't released in 2017, or Odyssey was maybe Odyssey was a 2018 game, then it might have won. Although, you know, Persona 5 had a lot of hype behind it, and Horizon Zero Dawn was also really big. But you never know what would have happened. I think Odyssey did win for like best family game. So it got a kind of a consolation prize, but it's still got an award. So yeah, so we got an hour and a half, which is perfect. I couldn't have planned it better. I didn't actually plan how long this would take. I just decided to do it till it's done. So that is kind of the history through YouTube of the game. But you know what? We should actually play Breath of the Wild. I know we played, we'll find out how many hours I've actually played. Hours and hours and hours of this game already. But it doesn't feel right not actually playing the game. So we're going to transition to kind of the second part of this. And so bear with me. I actually have to switch some inputs. So I'm going to mute my mic, and I'm going to get up and switch some inputs and grab a controller, and we'll get into Breath of the Wild and go from there. I have some stuff planned in the game. Don't worry, we're not just relaxing. We've actually got some stuff I want to talk about. Okay. All right, stay hydrated, folks. We got to stay hydrated. Okay. It's too bad that Nintendo. Just side tangent for a moment. I love the Pro Controller. I think it's the best controller I've ever used, hands down. I'm not even joking. There's so many things that are beyond just the buttons of this controller that make this controller great. The one thing... Oop. We just lost signal. Please work. The one thing is the controller died. Oh, the switch turned off. That's what happened. Okay, we're good. Let me just push the button. Okay, the one thing about this controller that it doesn't have is it doesn't have an audio jack. I wish it had an audio jack so I could plug my headphones in, and that way I could hear what's going on the TV. But you guys, my microphone wouldn't pick it up. But I gotta put my music through my soundbar. Third world problems, right? Anyhow, and the other thing is, Nintendo, please put a YouTube app on the Switch, or anybody is from YouTube, please put a YouTube app on the Switch, so I don't have to get up off of my couch and switch inputs to my capture card. Third world problems indeed. Okay. Oh, let me switch over. There we go. Switch my scene. Can't play this game without my traditional setup. All right. Well, this feels like we're starting the stream over now. Feels like we're beginning the beginning here. All right. I already got it booted up. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to do something a little more special. We're not going to go and upgrade gear. As much as I would love to get like a lot of the... Excuse me. As long as I would love to get a lot of the gear upgraded, I think it's more important to really just talk about some of my favorite things about this game. And I think it's important that we have a Master Sword to do that. Oh, it's not charged. Okay, well, until then, we'll wield this Lionel Sword. Oh, except for we're freezing. Okay, that's okay. We'll warp on out of here because we're going somewhere. So this might take a little while, and I really didn't organize this by location. I organized this by type. So let me look to see if there's anything. Nope. Okay. The first thing is in an area that doesn't really correspond with anything else. So let's go ahead and go there. And the first kind of topic, or I think I'm going to mix topics a little bit because I don't want to have to warp to one location and then go to another location and then warp back just because there's another topic later. We might end up doing that just another round. This map looks like nothing like the original map that we saw from the Game Awards, the 2014 Game Awards footage. Let us go here, because the first thing we're gonna talk about is favorite characters. And this isn't ordered by worst to best or any kind of ordering. I just kind of wrote them down, and we're just gonna talk about NPCs. Favorite NPCs first. And we're just gonna kind of go visit them and talk about why I like this character in particular, and why it's important in the game. So, cool. So the first character is Pura, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, actually, but it's this lady here. And she's been turned into a child because of her time experiments. And I think that's kind of fun. She's got a really cool personality. Let's find out who you are. Don Cha. Already know that. Don't you already know? Whatever. My brain. Click snap. She always ends a lot of her sentences in snap. $100 ago. Trying to resurrection. Yeah. She's discovered the runes. yeah, so you know, she just kind of gives you a lot of explanation of like kind of what's in the in-game lore of what's going on. Okay, so that's really all we need to know. So, I don't know, she's not my favorite character, but it was really refreshing to find this kind of a really weird, quirky character, like, early in the game. Because this is one of the first places we went to, and it's one of the first places that the game encourages you to go to, for good reason. And, I don't know, it's just kind of cool. You get the picture ability, you know, from this, like pictures of things. Yeah, I really like her for her personality and just kind of quirkiness, and it was a nice kind of levity to the situation you're in, and it was good to come across somebody like this early in the game, and that's basically all I kind of wanted to say about Purah. So the next person we're going to go to is actually legitimately more of a favorite of mine. I not saying Purah isn't a favorite. She definitely stands out among a larger cast. But there is another person that we need to go talk to, I think. You know what? It's been forever. It's right. It's next to a shrine. I know that. Or, where? Is it this one? No, it's not that one. It's this shrine. Yeah. Okay, let's not warp there. I actually don't want to warp there. I'm gonna warp here and then travel there. For those of you who remember that location, you know exactly who we're going to see. But I want to keep it a little bit of a mystery. You probably already guessed. You probably already know. I love this character, even though it's very small part. It just makes me laugh. Okay. And let's travel on our cool motorbike because we're cool like that. I think the best way to approach this is to go across this bridge over here. Yeah, and then paraglide in or something. Uh-oh. Well, I'm kind of stuck, so. Oh, cool. That's actually pretty good. For killing a single bokoblin. Alright. Let's get you unstuck. Okay. I might have done that a little mature. Or immature. Good thing we've got plenty of stamina and stuff. Alright. I honestly don't know this NPC's name. but I like to lovingly refer to as the Flower Lady. And I love her. What's her name? Magda. Okay. So, let's see if we can actually trigger her. Yeah, okay, we can still do that. So she starts out like, no, please, but she uses some like really, a little bit more extreme language, like screaming out in pain. But you know, it's like, okay, sorry lady, I stepped on a flower. I apologize. And then you do it again. And then you do it again. She looks so dejected. This turns into a horror movie. Oh man. Oh, I just had to see that one more time. I'm 3 hearts down. I have to shake it off. I have to shake it off. What does she say now? You're not stepping on my flower. Let's see what happens if I do it one more time. Okay, so she goes back to the beginning. Okay, so there's not really anything left with Magna here, aka Flower Lady, Magda. But I think it's kind of a Japanese thing to do. It's too bad it's raining in game. I just find it hilarious, and I love that this is in the game. Like, this is a thing in the game, and it's
Daruk's protection is now
it's
ready
like
to roll.
they could have easily just put things like spikes blocking your path, but no, they decided to use flowers, and they put this NPC here to kind of explain why you should not harm the flowers. And I remember when we ran into it. It was very early on in our live stream, and I think it's just great that this is in the game. Like, this is one of those little things that makes this game stand out to me sometimes. It's the little things, right? So we talked about Flower Lady. All right. Is there any reason? Okay. I just wanted to make sure we don't do stuff. So we're gonna go here and talk about another NPC. And for any of you who've actually played the game, you already know who this NPC is and why he kind of gave it away a little bit, but you already know why. I'll just go ahead and say it. You already know why Sidon's amazing. But let's actually go find him. He's somewhere in the Zora domain here. Let's see, how am I doing at time? Oh, I've got plenty of time. I've got like an hour and 15. You know what? I don't like being somewhat not full hearts. So I'm gonna... What we got? I've got plenty of... Alright. Let's go fight Sidon. I kind of really like the design for the Zoras. I find this... Oh, there's Sidon right there. So before we actually get to Sidon a little bit, I kind of really like the look of Zora's Domain here. It's not my favorite place to be. It's kind of samey in like the sense that the same colors, but it feels right. And the Zora's design is much more I think it's based on like Twilight Princess Zoras, or maybe Wind Waker. Although Wind Waker only really doesn't really have that many Zoras, but surprisingly. But yeah, so let's talk about Sidon. So Sidon's kind of the first pseudo champion that you come across, and he's adorable. But he's charming. He's like that prince in shining armor, and he the very first time he does that smile, that cheeky smile he has, you just fall in love with him as a character. And that's why he makes it on the list. Of course he's gonna make it on the favorite NPCs in Breath of the Wild list. You know, right now he's kind of contemplative, but you know, he helps you take on the Divine Beast. He introduces you to Zora's Domain. He sets off this kind of quest for you to get here. It kind of that means something when you actually reach it, because you have to get here through while it's still raining, and it continues to rain here continuously. And he has blood relations to Mipha, one of the champions. And you know, so right now it's probably not the best thing. He's contemplating Mipha, who they've enshrined in a statue here. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about Sidon. Yeah, see, he misses his sister, who's his dead sister.
Huh.
Well, Link is actually that swordsman. See, even he's shipping Mipha and Link. I mean, it doesn't really show from here, but if you've played the game, or you've, you know, is there a cutscene we could watch? I don't think so. I think these are all champion like memories. Lord. I mean, he might be. He's in one of the. Yeah, I mean, he's a kid in this one. But he's like the first one we came across he has a lot of personality when he did. I mean, this game has a kind of an issue with their NPCs a little bit, in the sense that they're very animated in the cutscenes, but they're really not in the game. And but you know, you can't help but kind of like the guy. Okay, so yeah, let's go to the next place. Okay. Again, you probably can guess who we're going to talk about next. Gonna be a lot of traveling around. I think it's Sidon's smile that gets you. It's his smile. That optimism. I probably shouldn't have came all the way up here. Get down. Where it's warmer. Quickly. Alright. Let's talk about Cass. Cass, or however you want to say his name. Okay. Cass, he might be my favorite character in the NPC in the game, outside of maybe Zelda and Sidon. And actually, he's probably, in my mind, I like him better than Sidon. The reason why I like Cass is because he kind of goes on his own journey while you're here. Let's see if my Master Sword, okay, never mind. But he's kind of on his own journey, and throughout key moments in the game, you meet up with him, and you unlock shrines, and he gives you clues, and I think he just sticks out because you find him everywhere. It's not just singular location. Of course, you can find him here in his kind of hometown. And I've always really liked the music in Zelda. Now, this Breath of the Wild is much more hands-off when it comes to music. The Cass kind of breathes life into the music that is Breath of the Wild's music. And so let's see if we can get him to play one. Yeah, please. Let's be serenaded. So, I love how that song transitions into the classic Zelda theme. There's a lot to love about Cass, and the music is, I think, the majority of it. But like, he was huge in Champion's Ballad. I mean, that right there was, in a sense, is the Champion's Ballad. Ooh, Master Sword has been repaired. My Master Sword. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know what else to say about Cass. He just shows up frequently. Let's see if we can get him to play again. Okay. He just serenades you through the game, and you experience, he has his own kind of quest on his own end, and you kind of work together. And I love the fact that he's a Ritu, so he can fly everywhere, and that kind of explains how he gets everywhere so fast, but doesn't quite explain everything. See, right now he's playing Dragon Roost Island. If you didn't know, this was actually a rendition of Dragon Roost Island from Wind Waker slowed down. I love it. I love this remix of Dragon Roost Island. It's great. Not to take anything away from the original. So yeah, that is why Cass is one of my favorite characters, if not favorite NPC in the entire game. Alright. And then he just transitions to other thing. He plays a Epona song. Love the guy. Alright. So I think I know where I'm gonna go next. So this has a double thing. This is actually going to incorporate two things. Okay, well, to do this at all, we have to transition. Hence why they needed to make Link androgynous. Now, I don't know if back in 2014 they had intended this, but that's good enough for me. So first off, Gerudo Town is legitimately one of my favorite places in this game. So that's kind of a little hint of what may be coming up later, or what we're going to talk about. But it, like many towns in Breath of the Wild, it feels like people actually live here. But I think Gerudo Town is special. There's some other towns that are maybe a better example of this. But for example, like this area in here, this special, like, secret place where you can buy clothing, and how you learn how to get in here. Just little things like that. I think it makes the town feel kind of alive, like it actually lives. There's also like maybe not in here. I mean, Breath of the Wild does a pretty good job for most of its towns explaining this. The fact that also you have to get in here you have to dress like a woman to even be in here, which fits right in line with, you know, the lore. There's a cooking class. You can learn how to cook. There's, what else is there? I think over here there's a here. That's not where I want to be. There's a class learning how to, like, date men. I can't remember what it was, where it was. Somewhere. I might be able to find it. I like how Gorons are allowed in because they're like, do Gorons even have a gender? It's kind of also a reward for going so late in the game. There's a bar where these women just sit around and, like, gossip and you know, have hangovers. Is this the lecture hall? Where is it? It just feels alive. It feels like people actually live here. There's a, you know, Royal Guard training place. Oh, here. Is this it? Yes, this is it. I mean, there's like, you want to learn how to, like, find a man. The vote and you. I mean, it's just great. And how everybody has, like, their own opinions on what to do.
Ma.
I mean, no answer is perfect, you know. It's like, she wants to bring him home. Basically kidnapping, yeah. And there's like one seat open, of course there is, because, you know, you're kind of that person. It's just things like that. I love it. And I also love how the Gerudo women, you know, how they're like head and shoulders above Link. Like Link, you know, you don't get the impression that Link is like a short dude. But when they stand like full, like when you're like half their size, it really impresses you why they're different. Like they stand out from Highlands. And then top it all off, one of my favorite, like outside, I think Sidon's probably my favorite character that helps you, but I really like Riju. Yeah, I'm not gonna have her tell me about Urbosa, but I think this is one of the coolest parts of the game, in general. Because you come here, you have to do this quest just to get in the door. Then once you're in here, you kind of feel like it's a special area. It really feels alive. You come across Riju, who's actually a really cool character who helps you out to defeat the divine beasts. She has her own kind of special quirky personality. She loves her seal, for example, her sand seal. Sand seals in general, just that concept is really cool. And look, she has a storage room with a plush of her seal. I find it really fun and charming in a lot of good ways, and I think that's what makes this area really special and stands out from among the rest of the game, and why it's one of my favorite locations, and also Riju is one of my favorite characters. And she's, you know, you can tell she's really young. She's the same height. She's actually shorter than Link. And she's a queen. You know, it's kind of interesting. It's not just like some big tough, like Urbosa is the big tough one. You know. So yeah, and then kind of the design, like this endless flow of water coming up from the ground. Yeah. And just kind of the culture and shit. You really get a good concept of like what the Gerudo are all about. And it really stays true to their origins in like Ocarina of Time. And yeah, I think it really captures that spirit. So let's see, what's next? Ah, yes. Yeah, let's see, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. Let's go to another area. You know, we should have done this while we were here. My bad. Oh well. We're also going to talk about a few things while we're here. Well, mainly two in this kind of the same location. I don't know if I have enough content to fill out the last hour. We shall see. I'm going to go ahead and equip. All right. So this village, most villages in Breath of the Wild feels pretty alive. I mean, there's like kids around, there's some other NPCs in here, pretty cool. But it's a different vibe. It's obviously a different vibe than where we just were. And I didn't write it down as one of my favorite places, but I do really, it's not that I don't like it. I'll say that. It's kind of like you can actually see Zora's domain over there. It's kind of like that. It's like, is it one of the best locations in the game? No. You know, is it counted? What I counted among my favorites? Maybe not. But I think it just goes to show how the strength of this game. All right, let's talk about Bolson and the house quest. I think it's really, first off, I think it's really cool that you can get your own house in this game, and that you can upgrade it. And let's even see what do I even have in here? Barely anything. You know, maybe I don't use it very often. Oop. Oh, I'm glad I came in here. Yes, of course I wanted to display my picture here. What a nice little surprise. I can admire it from here. Oops. Not with my horse, though. That's a nice little surprise. I'm glad that we came in here to see that. I had no idea that that was even a thing. But yeah, I just think it's really cool that you can buy your own house, you can upgrade it. It didn't even have a door, if you remember. It's got like a stable back here. I never figured it out. Can you put a horse here? Suppose you could. It's got an apple tree. Can we go in this? No, you can't go in the shed. But it's got a shed. And another one of my favorite characters is Bolson. So, yeah. Well, let's talk about the neck charm. Something. Yeah, so he's very quirky. That's putting it mildly. But I just find him hilarious in some ways when you get your house built. You know, the whoop, ha, 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 yeah, you know, all those noises they make when they're building their house, or you know, fixing it up or whatever. And I love how everyone in his company, their last name their name has to end in son, which leads me to, of course, Hudson, which we're gonna go talk to next. And he's up here in Tarrytown. Tarrytown? Yeah, I've just noticed that it's spelled kind of interesting. Hudson's the last favorite NPC on the list here that I have. But he also, there's a couple things that we need to talk about with him. First off, I just want to say this character here, Hudson, he was working with Bolson. It was so unexpected when he left the construction company to go off to do his own thing. It was just an unexpected move, and I didn't know quite what it meant. And then when we found him here, it was like kind of like, oh yeah, this guy. And then he puts you on this fetch quest, and you have to fetch and fetch and fetch and fetch. And you know, honestly, if I was doing it again, I'd probably do it. I've spread it out throughout my play session through the whole game. Ended up doing the whole thing in kind of one sitting. I think that was a little bit of a mistake. And it all leads to building up this town and finding people with the last name Sun, such as Grayson and Pelisson. Pelisson. And what's your name? Bison. And it's just hilarious to me that everyone in this town has to have the last name Sun. She doesn't have Sun, but all the main character, all the major players that you had to get here. And then they have this gorgeous wedding. He gets married to, what's her name? Rondunson, who's a Gerudo. And it's like they fall in love, even though you're like the matchmaker. That's this big to do. And I always like coming back here. I think Terrytown's one of the best, or the from the ground up, it's one of the best quests in the game. So just talking about in general, like one of my favorite quests in the game. I think this one was one of my favorites, even though I did do it in one sitting. Like I said, the game was kind of drawing a line there in the wood. That's weird. I don't know if you see that. It might not be coming. It might not be detailed enough on the what I'm drawing. It's a little weird. Anyhow, yeah, it's just fun. I really think that this is one of the better quests in the game, and it leads to some really cool things, like really, really expensive diamonds, but you know, like really cheap arrows. Like these are the cheapest arrows in the game. He's sold out right now, but you know, come next Blood Moon, he'll have some more. And then there's this dude who sits on top of one of these places where you can buy back clothing and the Hylian shield. And I just think it's one of the cooler places and quests in the game. And it's set in this beautiful location. And yeah, I think Hudson is one of my favorite NPCs for all these reasons. So that actually knocks off all the favorite NPCs. So, and some of the locations and one of the quests. Let's talk while we're kind of here. Let's talk favorite outfits. So I have a few. Let's start with clothing. Let's start with the Sheikah gear. Okay. How is that not cool? Yeah, it's not the best armor defense in the game. It doesn't provide the most defense. But that's not what it's for. If you're a stealthy ninja, you shouldn't take a lot of, damage. You should be doing like stealth strikes and things. I love that you can basically become a Sheikah ninja in this game. And that I love that it's set bonus night speed up. It makes total sense. Plus I just love the design. Like, oops, wrong button. Rotate. Well, just look at that. It looks awesome. You got the hair bun thing. He's got the Sheikah symbol. Yeah, I love like invading the Yiga clan and like, oh man, I gotta Sheikah represent. When I take out the Yiga clan because, they're the evil Sheikah. We were just wearing this one, but Another one I want to talk about that's one of my favorites, and again, these aren't ordered, is the Of the Wild. I love that it's a Master Sword power-up beam. Kind of makes some sense. It's a classic Link look. There's nothing more to really say about it. I like that it's in this game. I love that in order to get it, you have to go through all 120 shrines, not the DLC shrines, but all the base 120 shrines. I love how that's the reward. I love how it's in the Forgotten Temple, which we got to talk about the Forgotten Temple, but that place is really cool. We should just go there. Yeah, it's the classic. It's the classic look. It looks reminiscent of actually the 8-bit Link, you know, from the original Legend of Zelda game. You know how Numa was talking about the inspiration for this game, and how, you know, we had to go all the way back to the original Legend of Zelda NES, and if you look at the promotional artwork for that game, that Breath of the Wild, you know, Of the Wild outfit is actually really reminiscent of that, and it shows there's a lot of love and care put into it. All right, but you gotta get silly sometimes, and I know I don't wear this one ever because I think it's stupid and it looks ridiculous, but I absolutely love that it's in this game. The Tingle outfit. Yeah, it's silly. It's ridiculous. He looks like he's wearing underwear on the outside of his pants. He basically is. Kula Ling. What does Tingle say? Kula Ling Pa. Yeah, whatever. I butchered that. It's just so ridiculous. I love it. It's hilarious. I put it down. It's not. You might think it's a joke answer, but what's not a joke is Ganondorf. And I know I don't wear this one very much at all either, but yeah. Like, he might even look cooler if I took off my weapons. I mean, he looks pretty cool right there. Ooh, you know what? We should give him a savage. Nah, let's... Yeah, Phantom Ganon. He's Phantom Ganon. That's really cool. There's a lot of other cool things in here. The next one I want to talk about is basically, oops, I need to take off the Phantom Ganon hat. Cool. All right, which is the E3 look, the E3 look. You know, he probably would look even better if we actually gave him weapons. Gotta give him that shield. I mean, what else is there to say? It's the look that defined Link in this game. And, you know, for the sake of making the armor value better, you know, I would sometimes equip the soldier's greaves and the tiara, or the circlet, diamond circlet. But you know what? He looks better that way. He just looks better that way. And the circlet actually adds to it. I think the circlet looks really cool on his head there. Yeah. There's something about the blue and just how different it is from past Zelda games. And it really stands out to me. So, and the last one, and this is actually honestly my favorite. If we're just talking overall look and style, and functionality, and armor value, top to bottom, the climbing set is my favorite set in the game. Like, I know I said I wasn't ordering these, but this one for sure is number one. He looks so cool. And you know what he also looks really cool? When he's on a motorcycle. I mean, he needs, like, where are the sunglasses? Like, I need sunglasses to like, descend from the heavens and like land on his like eyes. It's like, let's go. You can even do a wheelie. Oop, don't fall off the cliff, then you don't look so good. There's just something about the climbing here. It's functionality. It's probably the one I wore the most, to be honest. You know, it just stands out above all else, in my opinion, as the best gear in the game. And that's my favorite. Those are my favorite outfits in the game. We've already talked about some of my favorite locations, but I just want to touch on a few more, and we're actually already technically in one. And that is, in general, Akkala. Specifically, though, the Highlands, this area in here, and some of this over here. Maybe we should warp here. You know what? Actually, I think I like this area better. Let's go here. Oh, okay. We've only got a half hour left, so that's actually I was worried, but now I'm thinking we might go a little long. I've still got a few things left to talk about. Okay, not too bad. We can probably do this. I like Akkala not because of its purpose in the story, although it is kind of one of the late game story things. It really doesn't have much in terms of story, actually. I like it for when I really think about my favorite locations in this game. I don't think of them in terms of story. I think of them in terms of their beauty, and it's kind of unfortunate that the game decided to make it kind of cloudy. But honestly, I think this is one of the best looking locations in the game, and I know we got a Guardian here, and let's not deal with that. Excuse me, Fox. Sorry, Fox. I just think the fall colors in this area are just stand out to me in a lot of ways. And it's kind of unfortunate there's a lot of enemies here. You know, it'd be nice if it was a little more peaceful. But I guess you could say that how dangerous it is kind of in proportion to how beautiful it is. Oop. Oh, my motorcycle's running out of juice here. I just love the fall look. I think the fall look and all the trees. Oh, we've got a blood moon coming up. I remember there was actually promotional material for Breath of the Wild before it came out that was centered around Akkala. You know, at the time we didn't know where it was. But yeah. Now, my other favorite location, my kind of last favorite location, I've got to equip this to go there, so you already kind of know, well, we're going to know right now, is actually Hebra. I honestly think this is one of the like hauntingly beautiful places in the game. Let's get there first so we can check it out. And then we're gonna go to one more. Well, okay, I know where we're gonna go next. But... I wish this stuff would go away. Let's see. Let's get up to the top of this, and to make our journey a little faster, let's put on the snow boots. I think Hebra, it's expansive, and it's, like I said, it's just like really cold. And I know, like I said, like some places can be kind of samey, and how this kind of is a lot of blues and white, you know, because of snow. But I think snowy mountains are just, you know, kind of a sight to behold in general in real life. And so I guess it just kind of speaks to how I feel about real life sometimes. But yeah, it's partly why I like this area. I think it's also really well designed. It's kind of hard to trek through just because of, you know, the snow slows you down so much, unless you have the snow boots. But there's a lot of variety. Like right now we're very mountainous, but there's like a big, you know, there's a big snowy plain down there, and there's, you know, so much stuff you can do. Oop! I might have to go get that star bit. I might have to actually go get that. Maybe we should divulge. Maybe this will be part of our Breath of the Wild experience here. I was planning to get to the top of this. Can I still make it? Oh, it's way out there. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. There's a Korok up here. Dang, I'm torn. I really want to go after that. Let me just explain what I like about it. I think the region itself, just everywhere you look, if you're on top of a mountain, or you're in a big snowy plain, or you're in this like weird area with like those mushroom type things where, you know, there's like this underneath area, and then there's all these like plateaus, like little plateaus spotted around. They kind of look like mushrooms. There's ravines, there's snow, there's icy rivers. There's a lot. Oops. But most importantly, there's snowboarding. Oop. That didn't go as well as I thought. But we've shield surfed quite a bit before. But you know, you come across all this. It's a little snowy right now, so it's kind of hard to see everything. But that's also part of its like charm, right? It's like it's kind of mysterious, you know. It's already 2 a.m. almost 3. Can we make it? Yep. I think we're gonna make it. It's what, like 5 a.m.? You know, there's all this area to explore, and it's mountainous, but it's treacherous, but it's also, it's kind of part of the fun, you know. Or I remember coming here, and I just remember like loving it way more than like Lanayru. Like Lanayru had the dragon at the top, and that was really cool. But I don't know, something about this, and it's so different. you know, than a lot of other places in Breath of the Wild. In Breath of the Wild, there's a lot of like grassy. There's a lot of grassy like knolls and hills and things, but here it's not that. You know, here it's snowy mountains, and that's that. There's another snowy place in the game, but this is the one that takes the cake for sure. And you can snowboard, and that's awesome. Oop, I just took a lot of damage there. This is kind of the base of this lodge, right? Yeah. Alright. Yay, star bit. We can actually upgrade something. I'm probably not gonna do that today. I'll do that on my free time when I actually play this game for free, not for a stream. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go to 2 more places. Okay. Okay. Kakariko Village. How can this not be one of my favorite places in the game? Let's actually... You know what? Let's wear this. Because why not? It's the first major village that you're supposed to go to, although you don't have to come across in the game. It's set in this very scenic location, very unique, and it has a lot of people that need a lot of help. And I actually put this under my favorite, like, side quests portion. But, you know, I think it's also one of my favorite places in the game. It's hard for me to say, you know, Kakariko is not a favorite. That's gonna rain here in a bit in the game. You know, finding Impa here. You know, kind of getting a little bit of the history of the area. You know, the heirloom quest, all these other quests in the game. Yeah. Paya. You know, the rumor mill book. The fact that you get the champion's tunic here. It's also one of those towns, it's another one of those towns that just feels alive. People have lives. People do things. The bow lady who runs the bow shop is divorced from her husband because the husband fell in love with his cuckoos more than her, and she's looking for a strong man. she likes watching Link shoot the bow. There's people who grow and sell food. There's a lady who runs a shop who just wants to see fireflies. There's just a lot here, and it's not a very big town, which in a lot of ways is kind of nice. It's one of also the only areas that's cuckoos, however you want to say it. You know, you get your Sheikah armor here. It has a lot of stuff. That just there's 2 fairy fountains. It's the very first fairy fountain you find in the game. You're supposed to. Again, it's Breath of the Wild. You can go anywhere. So yeah, I just wanted to come back to Kakariko Village one last time. And close by to this, let's actually go there on Like, what was I gonna talk about? Nope, that's it. Okay. Oh, there's this painter dude. Statue of the goddess is prominently displayed. There's just a lot to like about this place. Okay, let's go. Okay, cool. It actually lets me use my bike here. Oh, you know what? Before we go, let's fuel up on monster parts. Let's see. What do I have? I have a ton of these. No, don't eat. I think that's enough. Oop. Maybe I should have warped here to this place. Oh well, I'm almost there. I just wanted to talk about one more of my favorite quests. I think then we'll go to the kind of final location, so to speak. And then there's actually one more thing I want to do after that, but we're going to list favorites. I'll just say one more final favorite location after this. Yep. So this isn't necessarily a favorite location. I mean, I do like this area. You know, it's right after the Twin Peaks. There's some history here. It's where you get your first, well, where we got our first horse. But one of my favorite quests, and it kind of stuck with me, and I don't remember where we started the quest from, but I think it was here at this stable. You start this quest at the stable to go up and to find the hero's cache. And it was kind of the first quest that we did that was actually somewhat interesting. And let's go see if we can find it again. Oop. So the quest was to follow the river, and there's a cache up there. I don't know if we should go all the way. We're kind of running out of time a little bit, and I don't want to hold anybody back. But you come up this way. Oh, there's actually a shrine up here. Yeah, that's right, we found a shrine. And it was just kind of cool. It was like, they just kind of said, follow the river. I mean, in less words. You know, they didn't say it like that. But, you know, you figured it out by kind of just some context clues. And, you know, there's a blue pool up here, which I still don't... Oop, I heard it. Which means I got some rupees out of it. Something like running blue pools over with your bike. And then there's, and, you know, we can't do this right now because it's kind of, because it's raining. But, you know, you climb up this here, and there's this hidden cave up there, and you know, we've never been back there, but there's a chest with a fire sword, and that was really cool to find. I just really like that quest. I don't know what's about it. Like, why do I remember that quest out of like everything else that we did in the game? But I think it's because it was like one of the first ones we did that was like legit, somewhat cryptic. It wasn't that cryptic. It was really easy to figure out, but you know, I just wanted to point it out. I don't know why that one stood out to me, but that's what I wrote down on my phone. All right, final location before we end the game. And this also has some dual meaning to it. So you already know we're going to the Great Plateau. Why is the Great Plateau one of my favorite locations in the game? I think because it's one of the best open-ended tutorials and plus in-game I've ever had in a Zelda game. The Great Plateau does a really good job. I'm just looking for food so I can heal myself because I don't want to be completely like dead. So, one, it's mysterious. You wake up in this place. You know, and then there's also a lot of mystery here. Like the fact that the Champion's Ballad quest starts here. I think it's just great in general. And immediately, they're already teaching you something about the game. And that is you can climb. I love this little rock here. And then you come out and it's breathtaking. And I love that the weather is actually really good right now. And you run out here and you see the world for the first time. And then you look over and you see the man down there. An old man in a cave. It's dangerous to go alone, take this. And your first weapon in the game, generally speaking, will be a tree branch. Yeah, I can't wield it. I've got too much stuff. I just think you could tell they put a lot of time and effort into this area. And you could totally ignore all that. You could climb this and do whatever, but it's just a great tutorial. In general, without speaking a line of dialogue or very little dialogue, the Great Plateau teaches you everything you need to know about the game, all the mechanics, and yet it doesn't spoil a single thing of. And it's so cool that they reinvented the old man in the cave. It's dangerous to go alone thing. And it's also really awesome that you can tell like something bad happened here. Like, and you learn about Koroks. Oop. I didn't mean to dive there. That's okay. You fight, there's bosses, like there's the stone talus you can go fight. There's guardians that come alive. They teach you about that. They teach you how to cook, how to survive in this snowy area. You know, they throw some enemies at you that aren't that tough in general, but you know, when all you have is a stick, kind of sucks. There's a Temple of Time, and also one of the very few. Let's go this way, which is like from Ocarina of Time. There's like locations here that are directly ripped out of other Zelda games. Let's see if we can see it from here. No, we're gonna have to climb up this. Time to put on my climbing gear, my favorite gear in the game. See, I think I have enough stamina to really do this. One of the only Triforces in the entire game. Like, I don't know where else. I don't know if that imagery is very much anywhere else. I mean, it's on the Master Sword, I think. It's on the Hylian Shield. You know, there's not much, if anything, in this game about the Triforce. I find that very interesting. And then they got the 3 stones from Ocarina of Time in the Triforce symbol. But I think it's more of a nod to Ocarina of Time than it is to a hint at, you know, something in this game, because obviously there's no Triforce in this game, which I find really fascinating. Actually, one of the most important things until, and then you come back here, and you do the Champion's Ballad quest, like the first portion of it here, and I thought the Champion's Ballad was a really cool DLC side quest. It wasn't quite as story driven as I would have liked. I would have liked a little bit more story driven. But yeah, Champion's Ballad is one of the best quests in the game. There's this little garden here where you meet Zelda in Ocarina of Time. It's just so cool. This is where you looked through the window and saw Ganondorf as a kid. Yeah. Great Plateau. Awesome starting place in the game. All right. So we've only got 10 minutes. This is probably going to go over. Oh, I forgot to mention, my favorite champion, and we already knew this, was Daruk. So that's obvious. He's just by far their favorite champion. Okay, this is going to go a little over. But we only got 10 minutes. But that's okay. This is the last one, and we're not coming back. Let's go fight Ganon. Let's go fight Ganon. Let's fight Ganon, beat him, and get the credits roll. And we're gonna end the stream on the credits rolling with Breath of the Wild. I know we've already beat him once, but let's beat him again. We kind of know what we're doing. All right, we're all gear up, and let's do it in Breath of the Wild Champion. I know it's not my favorite, but let's do it in this. I mean, surely we can take less damage if we wear this, but that doesn't look right. Let's do this right. All right. We got a Mephi's Grace. We got two Daruk's protections. So okay, might be a little tough. Honestly, I think the best way is just in through this way. I wish there was a faster way to the Ganon fight. But it doesn't feel right to just kind of end it there, right? We gotta defeat Calamity Ganon. I gotta leave it off in a place where Hyrule has been saved. I hope we don't suffer too many damages trying to just get to Ganon. I kind of just want to go fight him. Okay, let's go straight to him. And yeah, this is probably going to go extra. Probably going to be a little overtime. But I don't care, I'm doing it. Oop, don't fall over too much. Okay, let's see. How do we get there? What's the easiest way to get there? I think it's... honestly, it's up and to the right. Up that way. You know what? I'm gonna add it to my list. Hyrule Castle is one of the coolest places in the game. Oh man. You know what? We should probably get hit. Again with a Daruk's protection, or should I just turn Daruk's protection off? Can we even get through here? Oh man, we can't. Okay, this might take a little. Let's go outside. Go over there and go outside. Get up on top of this and... You know what? Hit me with Daruk's protection on. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that recharges with enough time. Yeah, let's go up here. Okay. Oop, nope. This place is just cool. Really? Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, straight up to Ganon. How about this way? I might have to put my climbing gear on. Yeah, this... that might not be climbable. But I really don't want to fight any enemies, I just want to get here. You know, even without Jurik's protection, we still got Mipha's Grace, tons of food. I think we'll be okay. I just don't like not having... I mean, it's already almost charged up. Oh yeah, we've got full stamina. We're gonna make it. Uh-oh. Fire. Okay. Okay, we just need to get up there.
The root's protection is now ready to roll.
Without attracting our laser happy friend. Which I think is possible. We're almost there. We're actually technically in the sanctum. Okay, I think we made it. We just need to get around this gunk. Okay. Oop! Is this it? No, this is the top of it. We're actually too high up. We need to go one layer down, right here. Can we climb this? No, we can't. Okay, where's the entry? Somewhere around here. Oop, here's a way in. Alright. Jurik's protection. Best shield in the game. Stasis. Oop, 2 minutes to go. That's okay. Oh, it's gonna take longer than 2 minutes. That's okay. Lots of great shields, good armor, full health, powered up Master Sword, knowing what to do. We've already done this before. Let's do this. Some fairies. Mipha's Grace.
Link. I'm sorry, but my power isn't strong enough. I can't hold.
yourself, Ganon, for the sting of my revenge!
This will be our final opportunity. We will not fail.
Let's go, little guy. Now, open up wide, Ganon.
100 years in the making. Hold on, princess. Our moment has arrived.
Thanks, champions. Did we already take a picture of him? Yeah, we did. Yeah, well, there goes 3 of my oh, jeez. Ah. I'm trying to like backflip it, but it's not quite working. See, I was way too late. My shield's taking quite a bit of damage. Oh, missed him. He's way too fast for that. Oh, wow. Got like an air shot. He's got all the stuff. He's like a combination of all the other Ganons you fought to this point. Okay, now he's invincible, except for due to his own attack. Oh wow, my Durix progression's already back. Oh, oops. So close. Oh, dang it. I need to back up a little bit. Oh, come on. No, throw it. Oh, jeez, that was close. Okay. Dang it. I'm reflecting somewhat, but it's not timed right. Okay, there. A much better timing the ones where he's way closer. You know, while we're here, let's just go ahead and get a full heal. Yep. I just want to use what, and it doesn't really matter too much. Oh, dang it. Get up, get up, get up. Yeah, there we go. Got him. Alright. The hard part's actually done.
Ganon was born out of a dark past. He is a pure embodiment of an ancient evil that is reborn time and time again. He has given up on reincarnation and assumed his pure, enraged form. If set free upon our world, the destruction will be unlike anything ever seen before.
Now this one I don't think I got a picture of. I'm gonna get a picture of this.
I entrust you with the bow of light, a powerful weapon in the face of evil.
Bell's lullaby, I love it.
Link, you may not yet be at a point where you have fully recovered your power, or all of your memories. Your courage need not be remembered, for it is never forgotten.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I picked up that. Okay. Oh jeez.
Energy covering Ganon's body.
Dark Beast Ganon. Alright. Cool.
None of your attacks will get through this humanity. I will hold the malice back as much as I can, but my power is waning. Attack any glowing points that you see. May you be victorious.
I'm pretty sure the first one pops up on this side of him, so I'm gonna kind of stick over this side. Oh, I haven't equipped it. Okay, well I got 2 of the 3. Oh, the other one's still there. Oh, nope. Okay, never mind. That's okay. This is the cinematic portion of the fight. It's not. I don't think you can lose here. I mean, you can technically, but I think it's hard to lose here. Got him. Oh, there's weather effects here. I don't know if it was raining last time we were here. Oh, don't you turn around on me like that. It got too close. Isn't there one beneath it? I think there's one beneath his belly. I think there's one more round of this. I know there's one underneath his belly, and we have to run underneath there. So I'm just gonna hang out on this side of him. Stay away from the mouth. Thanks, Drew. Yeah, right here. Okay, now there's one, his eye, right? So we need him to attack.
The very core of Ganon's being. Do what you must, Link.
Yeah. Yeah, then attack. Oh. Oh well. Up, 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 up. There we go. You know, I don't think I noticed that the first time was that she used the Triforce there. So, I guess the Triforce kind of is in this game. I don't know if I noticed that the first time. I mean, you know, she is using the Triforce of Wisdom.
I've been keeping watch over you all this time. I've witnessed your struggles to return to us, as well as your trials in battle. I always thought, no, I always believed that you would find a way to defeat Ganon. I never lost faith in you over these many years. Thank you, Link. The hero of Hyrule. May I ask, do you really remember me?
She also has a Triforce emblem on her dress there in the middle. There's one more cutscene, I think, at the end. Which actually, I think you only get that cutscene if you defeat all the Divine Beasts and get all the 120 original shrines, but I'm not sure about that. I think there might actually be multiple endings. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, there's Hidemaru Fujibayashi. That's the director. He was the other guy at the Game Awards. And somewhere in here is producer E.G. Aonuma. Fujibayashi. Man. So, is it a perfect game? No. I think there's some things that they certainly could do to make it better. I think weapons shouldn't break as easily as they do, although I never really ran into a problem. I know that's like a common complaint. I wish the characters in the story was more developed. You get good chunks here and there. I wasn't really let down, so to speak, but I think it could have been better. And maybe it should rain less often in game, so I can climb more things. That's it. Those are really my only complaints. And those are some of those are more nitpicking. Like the item breaking thing is more nitpicky in my opinion. Because it was never really a problem. For me anyways. And I get that story is hard to tell when the world is so open. And you could have done like a better job. I still think that you could have done more cutscenes and things like that. But still, it's kind of nitpicky because like the game took forever to make, and I think they poured a lot of love into it, and really made something special. I think this game will be the Ocarina of Time of its generation. What I mean by that is it's Ocarina of Time took Zelda and put it into 3D and told like a really sweeping epic story. And the story wasn't really that good overall. It was good, but it was kind of classic. Sidon. All right. And I think this game kind of did the same thing. It took Zelda and put it into an open world. And kind of westernized it in that sense. But it was still very Japanese. Very much so. And it's still Zelda. It kept a lot of what made Zelda Zelda and discarded a lot of what a lot of people will say, well, you can't have Zelda without this. Well, I think Breath of the Wild proves that you can discard a lot of things that make Zelda Zelda. Oh, and another small complaint is that I wish there were proper dungeons, like Ocarina of Time level dungeons, because those dungeons were so much bigger. In fact, actually, I really want dungeons to be huge, like Breath of the Wild sized, sprawling, open dungeons. The Divine Beasts weren't really that. They were cool, they had some cool components to them, but they weren't really, you know, go find a key, go find a map and compass, you know, get an item kind of thing. And I don't expect that, necessarily. I guess what I'm trying to say is I wish Breath of the Wild took Ocarina of Time's dungeons and Breath of the Wild them. But instead we got the Divine Beasts, which is cool. Yeah. What else is there to say? I guess I could talk about future plans. So, I've decided that I'm going to take like a month off from live streaming. So, I'm going on vacation in early October, and I don't get back till later, like mid-October. So the next live stream is going to be October 20th. So it's actually more than a month. It's 5-6 weeks from now. So I just felt like I needed to take a break from live stream for a little while. It's not saying I'm done with live streaming, but I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, and then we'll come back. And I haven't decided what I'm gonna play right now. The only game I've decided on is Hyrule Warriors. I know we started that but never finished it. And unless something else comes up that I can think of that we want to do better, but I think I want to finish Hyrule Warriors. We started it, never finished it. It feels kind of abandoned, so I think we're gonna go back to Hyrule Warriors after that. But I haven't committed it fully. But you know, who knows? 6 weeks is a long time, so yeah, that's the plan. So the plan is take a break, take a little bit of a streaming break. And come back October 20th. So that is what's going on. Let's just let the credits roll and get the last little cutscene, and then we will be done. I hope everyone had a really fun time with this. I had a really good time with this. I'm really glad I decided to play this, and I know at some point in the future I'm gonna play it again on hard mode. I'm not gonna live stream. I'm probably never gonna live stream this one again. Maybe. Oh, there's producer E.G. Aonuma. Yeah, I mean maybe here or there just to play around, but I'm not gonna play this game for, you know, any substantial length of time again on stream. Satoru Iwata. Oh. Gone too soon. Isn't there one more cutscene? I remember there being another cutscene after this. Oh yeah, okay. I think this is the bonus cutscene you get for doing everything.
We'll make our way to Zora's domain. Divine Beast Varuta. Looks like it's stopped working. Let's investigate the situation. Miva's father. I believe he would like to hear more about her. The least we can do is visit him and offer him some closure. Although Ganon is gone for now, there is still so much more for us to do, and so many painful memories that we must bear. I believe in my heart that if all of us work together, we can restore Hyrule to its former glory. Perhaps even beyond, but it all must start with us. Let's be off. I can no longer hear the voice inside the sword. I suppose it would make sense if my power had dwindled over the past 100 years. I'm surprised to admit it, but I can accept that.
All right. Yep. So that's it. Next stream October 20th. Most likely Hyrule Warriors. Yeah. We've reached the end of this chapter. All right. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.